Hello everyone, my name is Valentin Toby. I'm a strategic security architect, and today I will demo how F5 Distributed Cloud Web Application Firewall can block the exploitation of MOVEit Transfer vulnerability. At the end of May 2023, Progress Software has disclosed a critical SQL injection vulnerability affecting around 2,500 instances of their MOVEit Transfer web application, a vulnerability that could allow an unauthenticated attacker to gain unauthorized access to MOVEit Transfer's database. According to Kong Briefing Research, the exploitation of this vulnerability affected at least 382 organizations, the vast majority being based in the US, and exposed personal data of 20 million people, based on the ransomware group that claimed responsibility for these attacks. Among the organizations affected was American Airlines, British media regulator Ofcom, a number of US universities, as well as Louisiana Office of Motor Vehicles and Oregon Driver and Motor Vehicle Services. While fixes were provided by Progress on 31st of May, the number of affected organizations is likely to increase as, at the time this content was created, investigations are still ongoing and results are still to be disclosed. Let's look at how this attack might happen based on Horizon 3's proof of concept published on their blog and their GitHub repository. The path to exploitation has two stages. In the first one, a sysadmin access token is obtained, while in the second, a remote code execution exploitation is triggered. Obtaining the sysadmin token depends on successfully performing an SQL injection attack, which is facilitated in turn by a vulnerability in one of the MOVEit libraries, which allows setting session variables that will effectively allow the bypass of the function assuring the neutralization of special elements used in an SQL command. Once the sysadmin access token is obtained, the remote code execution stage is started, relying on the same vulnerability which completes this proof of concept. Let's see how this attack runs against an unprotected system. For the purpose of this demo, the dummy server simulating a vulnerable MOVEit application is front-ended by an F5 Distributed Cloud WAAP policy that is configured in monitoring mode. That is, the attack will not be blocked, however, the malicious requests will still be logged. As a note, the only change to the default Distributed Cloud WAAP policy was to allow requests to the vulnerable endpoint, otherwise the application itself would not work. You can see the two stages of this attack completing successfully. The first one exploiting the vulnerable endpoint to facilitate the SQL injection attack and obtain the sysadmin access token, while the second stage is triggering the remote code execution attack. Let's set the Distributed Cloud WAAP policy to block any malicious requests and rerun this attack. As you can see, Distributed Cloud WAAP blocks the exploitation of MOVEit vulnerability and the attack chain is broken. To fix the vulnerability in the MOVEit library, the recommended practice is to patch the affected system. Let's explore the logs and see the malicious requests being identified and blocked. As you can see, Distributed Cloud WAAP correctly identified this malicious request as a MOVEit transfer privilege escalation and blocked it accordingly. With this being said, this demo has concluded. Hope it was useful and thank you for your attention.